Special weekend heavy rain forecast for Florida and tropical wave in the Atlantic. Good evening to all our viewers tuning in to this special weekend edition of our news program. Tonight, we are here on a Saturday evening because the Atlantic has just seen significant meteorological developments that require immediate updates. This is not merely the story of a distant low-pressure system, but a comprehensive picture of ocean atmosphere changes that could directly impact the safety of millions of residents in the United States and the Caribbean in the weeks ahead. This is not just an ordinary weather forecast, but a detailed, comprehensive report on meteorological events that are already directly affecting millions of people in Florida, southeastern Georgia, as well as the latest information on a tropical wave off the eastern coast of Africa with potential to develop into a tropical storm in the near future. We will walk you through each stage of analysis, from the ongoing prolonged rainfall and flood risks, to time-specific forecasts, and in-depth breakdowns of meteorological models and storm formation potential. Our goal is to help you not only stay informed, but also understand the causes and be well prepared to respond effectively. On the latest satellite imagery, we are currently monitoring two separate areas with potential to develop into tropical cyclones. The first system has persisted over the past several days, initially given a 60% chance of development, but in the latest updates, that probability has dropped to around 20%. This decline is due to the system moving into an area of strong vertical wind shear, a factor that can tear apart developing convective structures and encountering cooler than optimal sea surface temperatures. Still, we will continue to monitor it for any unexpected changes. Current models suggest that if this system does develop into a tropical depression or minor storm, it will move deeper into the central Atlantic, away from land, posing no direct threat to coastal residents for now. However, meteorologists are now focusing more closely on a second area, a newly formed tropical wave that has just moved off the West African coast, carrying dense convective cloud clusters and an emerging low-pressure structure. This wave is currently given about a 50% chance of developing into a tropical depression or storm within the next week. For meteorologists, this is not unexpected, but rather a familiar pattern in the Atlantic hurricane season. In early August, the intertropical convergence zone off Africa becomes more active, releasing tropical waves that travel across the ocean, the seeds of many major hurricanes. Based on the projected track, if environmental conditions remain favorable, this system will continue westward toward Bermuda or the Caribbean. It is worth noting that we are still early in the hurricane season, and decades of statistics show that the period from mid-August to mid-September is the most active. The seasonal peak typically falls on September 10th, when sea surface temperatures, atmospheric humidity, and upper-level wind patterns align to create ideal conditions for strong hurricane formation. The latest observational and satellite data indicate that conditions along the wave's projected path are becoming increasingly favorable. First, sea surface temperatures from the eastern Atlantic to near Florida are currently between 80 degrees Fahrenheit and the mid-80s, 27 to 29 degrees Celsius. Above the multi-year average, critical fuel for evaporation and convective cloud formation, the foundation of any tropical cyclone. Additionally, the Saharan dust that often suppresses storm development earlier in the season has decreased significantly. With clearer skies, sunlight heats the ocean surface more efficiently, supporting stronger convection. Forecast models, including spaghetti plots showing dozens of possible tracks, are beginning to converge on a general westward motion. Within the next week, if the system maintains its structure and taps into the warm ocean energy, it could become a tropical storm, or potentially even stronger. However, the exact intensity remains uncertain due to dynamic and thermodynamic variables. Notably, both the European ECMWF and US GFS models, which often differ considerably, are now in relatively close agreement that the system will move westward for at least the next 5 to 7 days. This consensus increases confidence in the forecast, though changes in the position of the Atlantic subtropical high or the arrival of cold fronts from the north could still alter its path. This is where the uncertainty lies. Scenario 1, least dangerous. The The system curves northward and stays entirely over open waters, a fish storm, with no significant land impacts. Scenario 2. The storm approaches or makes landfall along the U.S. East Coast, bringing strong winds, heavy rain, and flooding. Scenario 3. The system tracks southwestward into the Gulf of Mexico, where very warm waters could rapidly strengthen it before landfall. Which path occurs depends on the structure and position of the Atlantic high in the coming days, and whether a low-pressure trough or cold front develops over the eastern U.S. Experts advise against drawing conclusions from any single model run. Instead, monitor the broader trend across multiple updates, especially while the system remains far offshore. The next 7 to 10 days are crucial for observation, as that is when the system could reach a nameable status. The good news is that we still have time to prepare. If future trends show the system curving out to sea and weakening, it will simply be a harmless fish storm. But if named, it will be called Aaron, following Andrea, Barry, Chantel, and Dexter in this season's list. Washington, D.C. Sunday, August 10, 2025. Today's national weather picture reveals stark contrasts across the U.S., from pleasant summer days in the Northeast to damp showers in the Southeast, to characteristic heat in the south-central region, and cool coastal conditions in the West, Northeast and Washington, D.C. Metro. This morning, residents in Washington, D.C., New York, Boston, and the broader Northeast are enjoying a comfortable summer day. Morning temperatures range from 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, with low humidity and dry skies, ideal for outdoor activities. By afternoon, highs climb to about 85 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, with continued dry conditions and good visibility. Dry weather is expected through Tuesday, before warmer, more humid conditions arrive midweek, with a chance of evening thunderstorms. Southeast, Florida, Georgia, Carolinas. In contrast, the southeast coastal states remain under mostly cloudy skies with scattered light morning showers. Northern Florida and coastal Georgia may see damp conditions early before brighter intervals develop around midday. Temperatures range from 82 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, with a muggy feel. Residents should monitor weather alerts, especially in low-lying areas prone to flooding during sudden storms. Midwest and Great Lakes. States such as Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan are seeing more variable conditions. Light morning showers may mix with brief sunny breaks. By afternoon, highs range from 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, with scattered thunderstorms possible, especially near the Great Lakes. Long-range forecasts suggest this summer will feature above-average rainfall and higher temperatures in the Midwest, making days with both storms and heat quite common. South Central, Texas and Oklahoma. The South Central region remains hot, though South Texas has cooled slightly from last week's extreme heat. San Antonio is seeing highs near 95 to 96 degrees Fahrenheit, still warm but more bearable than before. In Houston, highs remain in the mid-90s degree F, with a 40 to 50% chance of afternoon thunderstorms. While flood risk is low, storms could disrupt rush-hour traffic. West Coast, California and Pacific Coast. The West Coast, especially California, continues its typical summer coastal weather, cool, with morning fog and light afternoon breezes. San Francisco is enjoying perfect conditions for outdoor events such as the Outside Lands Music Festival, with daytime highs of 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit and nighttime lows near 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Inland California and Nevada, however, remain hot and dry, with highs exceeding 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Pacific Northwest and other areas. The Pacific Northwest stays mostly dry today, though long-range trends indicate above-average temperatures and below-normal rainfall, which could raise drought concerns. Parts of the northern plains and southern Alaska may see light, insignificant showers. Summary: August 10, 2025, brings a diverse weather pattern across the U.S., pleasant in the Northeast and Pacific Coast, wetter in the Southeast and Midwest, while the South Central region remains hot but with signs of easing. Residents in storm-prone areas should remain alert, especially during peak travel times. That concludes tonight's special edition. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with the latest updates on this system and other developments across the Atlantic.